Hey guys, Big J here from the Centre Bounce. I know it's been a while. We've had our Monday night live streams, but today I'm showing you my team heading into round 0. Kind of the players I'm looking at in the preseason games as well. Lots of questions, lots of if, buts, and maybes, but stay tuned. It's going to be a fun one. Hope you enjoy. Guys, before we get started, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe. We've got lots of content coming out, including Squadfather on Monday, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But also as well, our Swordplay season guide code is Centre Bounce 10, all uppercase letters. Joe has done fantastic work, talking about Essendon, talking about different players, kind of positionings, things like that. We'll talk about a little bit of that today. But if you can, jump on there, use our code, purchase that. Joe has pledged as well to make sure that he gives back to the community. So any money he would get for using our code, you get 10% off. And then any kickbacks we get, we'll give back to the community there. So bloody fantastic. Now, we're talking my team. It is a bloody interesting one. I think I've gone a little bit different than a lot of other people. Defensive rookies stink this year. Sometimes we get some really good ones. Sometimes we get kind of those little bit cheaper guys, maybe like a Josh Sin or what Josh Sin is hoping to be in terms of a 220K player who ends up rising up the ranks. I mean, we could see Dode do that in round 0 and then our entire team changes. Cool. But my idea is less defensive rookies. There's a lot of value in the forward line. A lot of guys, vice versa, in that 220K range that all we need to do is make 150 to 200K, slap on a rookie, and then we're done. So that's kind of what I've gone through here. Picked up a lot of the good rookies as well. I'm pretty happy with the team. We just need to see what happens. I do have a sneaky short man at F3. So, mate, if that's telling you how cheap I'm going in the forward line this year, let's check out the team. Let's do something a little bit different. We are going to start with the Rucks first. Now, Joe hates him, but Big Max Gorn saves my life. He's back here, as you can see. Saved my season at points in time during the season. Max Gorn comes in, last 2 or 3 minutes left, gets a cheeky 30 points, couple of intercept possessions and a goal. He is my pick for R1 at the moment. Age is really the only thing that's hurting him, as opposed to a lot of other players, Tristan Cherry included, or not included. There's question marks over everything. Nankervis is probably the other one there that doesn't have question marks, but Cherry doesn't as well. They're really not sharing ruck time. I haven't picked Cherry yet either. I think Nankervis, potentially, how good does a good ruckman do in a bad team? Rowan Marshall, injury concerns, gets a knock. Could be all overs for him. I think Boyd might take a bit of his time as well. Tim English, abdominals, potentially he comes back. I think as well we saw a little bit of last year, Darcy eating into a bit of his game time. Now, or mid-time anyway, mid-ruck time. So maybe that changes a little bit with Jamara potentially being out. They'll move things around, but that could only be round 1. So Jamara's out round 1. Darcy plays more forward time. Then round 2, Jamara's back. Cool. English goes back to that roving player that, maybe struggles to get 100. We'll wait and see. I think Wits, Ned Moyle might even be R1 at Gold Coast, the way that Hardwick's talking at the moment. Then you move down the line, Brodie Grundy, Lloyd Meek, potentially could be competing with Reeves. I've actually gone Tom de Koning as my R2 at the moment. He's a little bit cheaper, has a fantastic early run. And I think as well, if there's no pit net, he's much better lock for right now. Round 12, round 13, happy to go de Koning to Cherry, as Cherry has that easier run later on. But for right now, de Koning is my R2. Maybe preseason games say, hey, Big J, cool, that's the wrong position to go in. Heading to the midfield now. Now, it's hard to pass up, but let's go to highest price. Marcus Bontempelli, if you don't have him in your starting team, it's going to cost you 3 trades to get him in. It is going to suck. You do not want to do it as much as you can avoid it. Wait and see if he ends up having a bit of a positional change. But if he gets stuck forward, hey, that means he's going to kick a few more goals, and we know he can do it. Number 2 up on the list is the second most expensive in Zach Butters. Similar type situation. I think it's too hard to avoid. And in my midfield, I've tried to lock in 4 players who I think are going to be top 8 for the year. and then use my trades, use whatever else in the other positions. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully I don't have to spend too many boosts on midfielders because it's nice to have some. But if right now I've locked in 3 or 4 boosts just on mids, it is what it is. Brayshaw comes up as number 3. I think he's going to be a fantastic player. I've never started him before. I almost started Sarong last year, and I definitely know how it hurt not to have him. So I think having Brayshaw in there will help me quite a lot. Seems to be dominating preseason, seems to be dominating quite a lot. Just kind of end of last year as well. So one to watch over the preseason games, but is in my list. Similar to another person to watch over the preseason games is Big Clayton Oliver. Now, Viney's injured. Petrarca's 50-50. I'm not 50-50, but Petrarca one bad bump, and I think he's gone again. So we'll wait and see with that. Melbourne's got a few injuries. Should mean Oliver gets a bit more of the ball. Similar to a few people who might be looking after a Trent Rivers as well down back. We'll wait and see. I think a lot of people have this next player in their team. It is James Peatling at M5. I think he's just going to be a really good stepping stone type player. I don't think I'll keep him the whole year, but Adelaide has made positional changes for him. Dawson's moving to a wing. Laird's moving back. I think there's a spot for him. They've obviously paid enough money to get him into the team as well. So not having him in your side, some people have got him at flex. Cool. But not having him in your side is a bit of a worry and something you should not have. So I'm going to finish this off with Jagger at M6. I have Sardis. Boy, oh boy. Pick 5, I think. Joe will correct me there. Pick 5. Finally coming into his own this year. Looks to be having a lot of mid-time playing in the firsts. Everything. It's bloody fantastic. I've got Langford there as well. Where are you, Langford? There's Langford. I think just the way that Melbourne's lining up, finding out for a while, a few other players as well. Preseason reports just have him going bananas. And Melbourne want to blood a few more of the kids through that middle. I think that's one of, it's almost like it's their strongest position, but then their weakest position as well. The back line's fantastic. Max Gorn's getting a little bit older, sure. The forward line's definitely developing with Van Ruin in there. But the midfield, their second rotation of mids really needs a lot of help. And I think Langford and potentially a Lindsay, who I've got in my team as well, could be the type of that player. But with Mick V going down, I have gone Lindsay. Now, I think Mick V is going to be out for a little while, which is great for us in Supercoach because Lindsay, who's been training off halfback, is now probably getting close to locked into that halfback. And one of those guys I'm going to be watching in the preseason games too. And the intra-clubs and the practice matches and everything like that. So we'll wait and see for that. Another player to watch is, I can spell his name, Mitch Nevitt. Now, similar to a Dempsey last year, who kind of was around a similar price, I believe, came out, just went gangbusters. I don't think a Geelong, if they want to keep competitive, can have too many of these guys debuting. But definitely him, way to go, has dominated, done very, very well in the VFL. Now, his time to shine. Seems to be playing A's in all the intra-club matches, all the preseason content. Just like, Nevitt, he's the next one. So he's in my team at the moment. Love to have these 149k Geelong players because, you know, when he goes into the team, he'll start doing well. So that's kind of what we want. Now, Gross. Where are you? Tom Gross. Definitely one that I'm looking at the moment. Frees up a little bit of money. I do have 8k left in the bank, so can work out. I can swap that kind of play around, but seems to have slotted straight into that midfield position. And with a Elliot Yeo, who's going to be out injured for a while, Gross and a couple of others, I think, are going to move in there. So we'll wait and see. He did train on a light duties, though, in the last preseason, the last training session. So we'll see how he goes over the preseason. Boyd, let me just finish this off because everyone's going to say, Big J, where's your R3? I'm going to go to the forward line next. Now, I think a lot of you guys kind of know where I'm going with this. Jack McRae, F1. Now, I have been desperate to get Horn Francis and a certain Isaac Rankin in my team. If I could facilitate it, I 100% would, but there is some really good value in there, and that's kind of what I'm looking for at the moment. I'm finishing it off with no Bailey Smith, bitch. No Bailey Smith. I have gone Luke Parker. I think he's going to jump into North's definitely half forward to mid rotations. Probably the second group outside of LDU would have been Wardlaw, Simpkin, Tom Powell, McKercher, everybody's going through there. But if he's not playing midfield, he's playing forward and kicking goals. So it's quite hard not to have him in your team, at least from my opinion. We'll wait and see over the preseason games as to what happens there. Caleb Daniel is F3 at the moment. I do have a couple of other players who I'm looking at. So Garcia from the Saints, dominant VFL games last year. Loves a tackle, has been smashing in the mids. I think he's the one that's going to take advantage of Philippou not being in the side, at least for the short term. Garcia, get in my team. Similar to another player who I'm looking at, Jack Hutchinson, saved my life round 24 with the 102. I'm not expecting that, but what is he? Let me quickly check. He's priced at, wow, he's only priced at like a 30, 35. So don't need to worry too much about him. He's going to make you enough money to really care. I'm finishing off this forward line with big Erasmus, dominating preseason, doing very, very well. Just keeps getting talked about. And I think that's something we'll cover with Joe in the next video of, guys, if you hear a lot about a player, generally means they're doing very, very well, or at least getting mentioned. The guys that you're selecting in your team that you haven't heard about for the past 5 or so weeks, mate, they're the ones you have to worry about, really. Reed from, I wonder if he's going to pop up. Let me do it. Archer Reed, 119k ruck forward, so we get some nice DPP swing that potentially, if Boyd doesn't play, we can move some stuff around. Hearing that he's going to be playing a little bit of halfback, key defender, which is okay. If he takes a couple of intercepts, it's more just if he plays. He's the right price point if I need to trade people out. Similar to a Davidson, who I've got in here as well. Maybe a Crosley or someone else comes in. It's only preseason games. We don't need to worry too much. Hewitt is going to take my flex spot at the moment because he's flexible. He's got DPP, playing majority mid, and just seems to be dominating. I would have loved to maybe have a Peatling there and someone else a bit cheaper, but we don't have enough money, so we can't do it. Back line now. Now, the back line itself is quite interesting. As I said at the start of the video, I'm really going off the premise that we're not going to get a lot of good defenders and not a lot of cheap guys. We used to have Massimo last year. Heck, even, what's his name? Coming over from Carlton to the Dogs. Liam Jones was a good option for a point there. There always seems to be these type of players, and maybe a Dode, maybe a Sim, but I'm not so keen on, could be that type of player. But at the moment, he's not in my team. So right now, I'm kind of going off guys who could be taking kickouts, should be playing mid, kind of dominant roles in their teams are my 3 there. So if we start off, Harry Sheasel is that player for me. I think he's going to be bloody amazing and should be competing from where it goes. Every podcast I'm in, everything I talk about Harry Sheasel. The guy's 20. He's going to dominate. Similar to a Lockie Whitfield, #1 guy in GWS. They've got an early good fixture. He will be taking almost all the kickouts. He will be doing everything down back. Peatling, Cumming, half a dozen other players have gone. He should be the main man down there. Watch out for any head knocks, though, because Lockie Whitfield head knocks is the bane of my existence. But if that doesn't happen, then bloody fantastic. I'm going to go Nazaya there at D3. Nazaya, I think, is going to be a fantastic player as well for us. Sinclair looks to be moving to a bit more of the mid. And at the moment, from some reports, I don't think he's going to play the first 3 games as well. So if we have a look at jump on DFS, check out kickouts. Let's do it right now. Let's have a quick look. So we go DFS Australia. You guys don't know how to do this. What have you guys been doing? Stats. And then we head over to kick-ins. And then St Kilda. Now, their #1 player, Nazaya, 86 kick-ins. Cool. Guaranteed points. Jack Sinclair, 61 kick-ins. Isn't playing. Riley Bonner, delisted. So who's going to get majority of the kick-ins? It is going to be Big Nazaya, and that's what we're banking on at the moment. We'll wait and see, but at 543k, sorry, the word's not coming out. 543k, I think he's going to be a lock for the moment and has a good buy round. He does not have round 12, which I've tried to avoid, and in saying that, the next player I'm picking is Big Bailey Dale. Similar to a Nazaya, let's have a quick look at the doggies. Bailey Dale, #1, clear #1. Lockie Bramble there. But Johanneson's out. Rory Lobb might not take many. Ed Richards has now moved to the middle. There is opportunity at the Dogs for other people to take kick-ins, but all the preseason reports at the moment are saying Bailey Dale, mass kick-ins. You have to pick him. And when they say you have to pick him, you got to pick him. So we'll wait and see with that. Next one up on the list is Mills. Cox has come out basically saying, Callum Mills, if you're fit, you're going to play majority mid. Similar to a Sheasel, I said before. Mid is good. Pick mids. So I've got, no, sorry, I'm not picking mids. Now, I've got 3 spots left. I've got 347K. I am going a little bit cheaper in the back line. And the beautiful thing is the position that I'm in now, I just have to wait for 3 rookies to really come in and just be named. So who have we got? Let's just pick 3 high ownership players. I'm waiting for a Bo Allen. We'll wait and see for him. I've gone Sardis. I have gone Leap. And I have gone Ben Jepson because I've got 107K left. And that looks to be the finished team at the moment, guys. So, yeah, it's interesting. Kind of changing it up and going a little bit different than a few other people. A lot of value, a lot of money, and a lot of hopefully high-scoring players. And that's kind of what we want. Chase the roles. It's nice to have a few guys as well coming into round 0, coming into the practice games that you can watch out and say, cool, I've done my homework. These are the type of players that I want in my side. Get them in your team. Guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. Ben Jepson is not going to play. Harry Boyd, mate, Marshall's back. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Remember, we've got Centre Bounce 10 as our season sword played guide code. It's a little bit of a competition between the content creators there as opposed, who can get the most people using their code. So do that if you want. Got a lot of preseason content coming out and 27 days until Supercoach starts. Mate, that's bloody crazy. I thought it was like 6 weeks. 27 days. That's less than February. So stay tuned for a lot of content. We've always got our Monday night live streams. We've got a lot of stuff coming out. Like, share, subscribe, because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work, so you guys don't have to. Bye for now.